Next speaker is Professor Dr. Kazuya Idemitsu. Professor Idemitsu belongs to the Department of Applied Quantum Physics and Nuclear Engineering, the Faculty of Engineering. He's studying the radioactive elements and the nuclear waste. I read his name in some newspapers, giving some comments on the crisis. So today's topic is radiation effect by the accident at Fukushima nuclear power plant. Professor Idemitsu, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll skip the slide. Next one. So, this is the contents of my talk today. At first, what happened at Fukushima nuclear power station. Then the main topic is radiation effect. There are two types: external explosion and internal exposures. And last is the measures for tsunami at nuclear power station at Kyushu. So today I'll give you the, I don't say what is safe or not, but I will give you the information to you to judge you are safe or not. So, okay, what happened? You know, the big earthquake occurs, and 40 minutes later, the tsunami hits Fukushima nuclear power station. So there are 4 nuclear power stations on the Pacific coast. Here. There's 4. And here, the Onagawa in Tohoku, and Fukushima Daiichi and Fukushima Daini, operated by the Tokyo Electric Power Company, and also the Tokai plant, the other companies. And only Fukushima Daiichi is damaged by tsunami. 3 other nuclear power stations are safe, but only one Fukushima Daiichi hit the tsunami. So all reactors are immediately stopped after the earthquake safely and cooling. And also the Fukushima Daiichi also cooling system is operated. But after tsunami, it's failed. All the safety system was halt. Then what happened? This is a schematic figure of BWR at the Fukushima Daiichis. Here is a core, nuclear core, pressure vessel, and the fuels around here. And there are container vessels, and these are the very important part of the pressure suppression chamber. And this is operation room, and here is the spent fuels, and this is a pools for spent fuels. And after stop the reactor, it still have decay heat, very large heat generated by the decay of the radioactive materials. So we need to cool the fuels after stop the reactor, but tsunami destroys the cooling system. So after that, the fuels are damaged, and unit 1, 2, 3. And the explosion occurs at the operation room at the unit 1 and 3 by leaked hydrogen. So this explosion is a hydrogen explosion. And also the explosion occurred by the hydrogen at unit 2 at the pressure suppression chamber. And also there are some contaminated water around here. So the radioactive materials are spread to the environment. So I'll tell you the effect of the radiation. Before that, I'll tell something about the basic information. What is the radioactivity? So radioactivity is the ability to emit the rays. Maybe you know that there are 3 rays: alpha ray, beta ray, gamma ray. The alpha ray's body is a helium nucleus. It's emitted from the large nucleus. And beta ray is electron. from the nucleus. And gamma ray, it's a very high energy light. It's light itself. So alpha ray is easy to see because alpha ray can run or fly only 5 centimeters in the air. So if you're apart from the more than 5 centimeters, the alpha ray cannot reach you. So, and it's we can seal very easily by the papers. And beta ray, we need to seal the beta ray by wood or aluminum foil. Aluminum foil can stop the beta ray. But gamma ray, it's difficult to seal. If we seal the gamma ray, we need thick iron or lead. And there's other one is neutron ray, but it's not occurred in this accident. So I'll skip this way. And second topic is decay. The radioactive materials has disintegrate. We call this decay. So decay is just change the nucleus to the another different nucleus. The half-life, maybe you know, the half-life period is a time to require the radioactivity to be reduced to 1/2 of its initial value. So this figure shows the schematic decrease of the radioactivity. And the horizontal line is times divided by half-life. So this way, every half-life it's half and half and half, like this way. So after 10 half-lives, it decreased to 1,000. So there are some radioactive materials. We call it the radionuclides. So there are, these nuclides are different half-lives. For example, iodine 131, it's 8 days. So now it's 1 month passed after earthquake. So the iodine 131 is decreased 1/10 of the initial values. But another one, cesium 137, it has a long half-life, 30 years. So it's still high activity. And I'll mention there some other radionuclides. Potassium 40, it has 1.2 billion years of half-life, very long. And also carbon 14 is 5,000 years or more. These radionuclides, natural one. This potassium and carbon is in your bodies, also me. There are many radioactive materials in our bodies. Next, so the main topics, the activity and exposure dose. The activity unit is Becquerel. Becquerel is unit, but it means disintegration per second. If 1 Becquerel means 1 radionuclides chained to the another per second, every second. So the high activity means high disintegration rate, and low activity means low disintegration rate. And the exposure dose, it's exposure, radiation ray through expose our bodies. But we use this unit is millisievert or microsievert. There are many, several variety of the range of the this unit. So there are 2 exposure. One is external exposure. In this case, the radiation source is out of our bodies, and radiation will come pass through. In this situation, we call it external exposure. The other one is internal exposure. In this case, radioactivity is in our bodies. Eating or breathing, something like that. The radioactivity is inside our bodies. At this case, radiation occurred from the inside. And I told you the alpha ray is easy to see. So we don't worry about the alpha ray exposure, external exposure. But if we take alpha ray emitter, the all energy damage to our bodies. So alpha ray is danger compared to the beta ray or gamma rays. So the effect for the human body is different radioactivity or radiation. Different radiation gives the different effect for the human body. But exposure dose normalize to the effect of human body. So if you compare this exposure dose, 1 millisievert is same effect for the human body. For example, 1 millisievert, the same effect for the human bodies if it comes from the alpha ray or beta ray. So you can judge only the exposure dose. So how danger of the radiation? So in this case, the unit is millisievert. If we get the all body exposure and several thousands millisievert, if we get no chance, 100% people are killed by the radiation, but it's several hundred at once. And 4,000 millisievert is 50-50. Lucky man can survive. And 1,000, there are some effect, but not to be killed. And less than 200 millisievert, there is no effect. We cannot observe any immediate effect, early effect. And also there are some other parts. There are some effects, but like this way. So the physical effects, there are two types: the early effect, immediate effect, and late effect. The early effect is loose hairs or lashes, erosions, and late effect is mainly the cancer occurrence, and leukemia is a kind of cancer of blood. But 200 millisievert, if we get 200 millisievert, the cancer rate is going up only 1% at once. If we get the 200 millisievert at once, but the cancer rate going up just 1%. And there are some genetic influence. Maybe you are worried about, but at the moment, genetic influence is unconfirmed so far. It's a very, very small difference or less difference between the exposed people or not. Then the regulation for the workers now 20 or 5 millisievert per year. But at the Fukushima accident, this level is up to the 250 millisievert. For the public, 1 millisievert per year. It's a very, very low. Normally we exposed from the natural about 1 millisievert per year. This regulation is same as the natural exposure, but exclude medical use. So this is the various exposure in life. So this level is annual dose limit for public 1 millisievert per year equal 1,000 microsievert per year or 0.1 microsievert per hour. This level. Normally we expose 2 millisievert per year in staying in Japan. Okay, and there are some many. If you come from Iran, Ramsar area is very high radiation, 100 millisievert per year. It's 11 microsievert per hour. It's a natural radiation. And also the India, Kerala, and Brazil, like this way. This level, the cancer occurrence is the same as the if you smoke this way. This level is same as 3 cigarettes per month. This is 8 cigarettes per day, like this way. Okay. This figure I measured when I boarding in the airplane from the Narita to San Francisco and back to the San Francisco to Narita. I get the some radiation from in the air. So the high altitude, this is altitude and dose weight. And we get 1 to 2 microsievert per hour at the high altitude on the plane. And this is the International Space Station. It's very high, 200 kilometers above 40 microsievert per hour. Okay. At the near the Fukushima area, it's about 60 kilometers from the station. At the beginning, there are 3 explosions and radioactive materials are spread. But the Fukushima city has a high airborne. It's a radiation rate as high as Ramsar, and now decrease to the normal values. So the other cities are less than the Fukushima city because of the weather situation. In this case, the wind blow to the northwest, so that's why the Fukushima is high. But there are other places. So here the Ibaraki, the south prefecture of Fukushima, right this way. The full range is 2 microsievert. So there are 3 explosions and 3 peaks you can see here. But its level is same as the my trip to San Francisco, this level. And Miyagi, like this way. They are a little bit high. But the other places, like this way. The peaks is degrees like this way. And also north part also. You can recognize very, very small peaks here. But you cannot recognize no peaks at Shizuoka, and also Kanagawa. And Fukuoka, no peaks. Also Aichi, Osaka, no peaks, no change. So if you curious about this data, you can get the this web page. These data you can get. So the last one is intake. How the internal exposure. There are some paths, oral intake and breathing, and by skin, by wound. But our body has some metabolism, and radioactivities go through the outside immediately. It depends on the radioactive materials. So I told you the physical half-lives. For example, hydrogen is 12 years, but we have also the biological half-life. Because of metabolism, the hydrogen is go out 1 or 2 weeks. It's a biological half-life. For cesium, the cesium-137 has 30 years of half-life, physical half-life, but the biological half-life is 1 to 4 months. So, but for iodine-133, it's a physical half-life 8 days, but if we get iodine-133, the maximum concentration in thyroid gland at 30 hours after intake. The iodine-131 causes the hyperthyroidism or thyroid carcinoma. It's a cancer. So when you take iodine 131, 5% of iodine collect the entire line, but 20% for child under 5 years. So we can protect the intake of iodine 131 by giving the stable iodine for collection of iodine 31 in thyroid gland. So this figure shows when you take the stable iodine as iodine, potassium iodine. In emergency case, if you expect more than 50 millisievert, in the case you should be drink the potassium iodide. But over 40 years old people, no benefit, because the iodine is a side effect, and after the Chernobyl accident, there is no thyroid carcinoma for the adult, only child. So we take care about the child. Okay, and so contaminated food or water, you are now worried about these topics. This is that now we have the temporary regulation dose and intake. The milk, for milk, 300 becquerel per kilogram for iodine, and 200 becquerel per kilogram for cesium, and also food 2,000 and 500. And I'll emphasize that these milks and food, especially spinach, has natural radioactivity for potassium 40. Normally, the milk has 50 becquerel per kilogram of potassium 40, and spinach has 200 becquerel per kilogram of spinach. So if we take these radioactive materials or contaminated foods, we get like this 6 microsievert per kilogram or 40 microsievert per kilogram by this contaminated food. But this value is quite low of the limit, 1,000 microsievert per year, and quite less or negligible small for the health effect of the radiation. Okay, finally, there are 2 nuclear power stations in Kyushu area. So now we are here. It's 60 kilometers apart from the Genkai power station. Here is a Sendai power station, and the Ito campus is 40 kilometers. And there are another one. It's Ikata. And now these power plants are located at 11 meters high sea level, and now the estimated highest tsunami is 2.1 meter. And also the Sendai 30 meters high at sea level, and the estimated tsunami maximum is 3.7 meters. As Professor Shimizu mentioned, that it's less possibility to occur the high tsunami at this area, so I'm not worried about the tsunami at this region. But there are some measures. At the Fukushima, for the safety of nuclear reactor emergency, first, stop the chain reaction, and second, the cooling down the decay heat, and 3, the containment of radioactivity. At the Fukushima Daiichi, they lose the 2 and 3. They could stop the chain reaction, but they failed the cooling and containment. So the measures is, this case, the lose the outer AC supplies, and halt the emergency diesel power generator, and halt of seawater pumps for cooling systems, that's shortage of cooling water. So the measures is alternative AC power, such as AC power car, and waterproofing of seawater pumps, and preparation of spare and seawater pumps, and mobile pumps for additional cooling waters. etc. And not only the hardware but also the software. Now it's ongoing. I'll finish my talk and I'll give one word. Please be afraid of radioactive exposure correctly. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Idemitsu. Now, I have one question from the floor.
Thank you very much for a nice presentation. And as you said that we need to have right or correct information about the radioactive dose or available in the environment. Recently, in the government website, I've seen that 0.36 or 38 microsievert per hour. But our university, Kyushu University, shows that 0.06 in Hakozaki and 0.1 microsievert per hour in Ito. So which one is correct?
First, the values you get concerning that exposure dose varies from location to location. So it depends where you actually measure the dose. And in general, the Western Japan tends to have a higher value than the Eastern Japan. And that difference is quite natural, depending on the location and depending on the altitude as well. And looking at these values like 0.06 or 0.1 are all within the range in which you don't have to worry about any health hazards.
In Fukuoka it was said that 0.036, but also in our campus we got more. So how government has got that information and we got greater value?
And again, value obtained can vary depending on the different sources. So if you are concerned, say, about the value at the Hakozaki, for instance, or the place you are as closest to, probably that's the best location you look into for the value, for the exposure dose.
This is something like a temperature, like the maximum temperature today is say 17 or 18 in some area, but other area may express 19 or 20.
Well, that's a rather rough example, but I would say yes. But of course, when it comes to the radiation, you have to also consider the amount of radiation contained in the ground and so forth. So that's a little more complicated than the temperature when it comes to the difference. For example, Lamsar in Iran, and they have a relatively high radiation level that is partly because of the kind of ground rocks they have there. So these kind of things should be also considered.
Thank you, Professor Idemitsu. Please have a big hand to him. Thank you very much.